dear family, today is the 22nd of September 2020, and this morning the Lord gave me some messages that I feel I want to share. I hadn't heard anything for several days, and then suddenly, literally just a couple of minutes before I woke up and before my alarm went off, He gave me some visions and a word, and I've decided to share it with you now, even though I don't fully understand it, and I'd be interested to see if any of you have an interpretation for this. I'll share my thoughts, but please put some prayer into it yourselves, because just as I try and interpret things, sometimes more information is given at a later date, which may help me to see things somewhat differently. But anyway, brothers and sisters, I want to start sharing things with you because I'm getting quite a backlog, and I know the Lord gives me these things so that they are to be shared. So here we are. What happened this morning was initially I saw a fridge, and instead of it being at this angle where you're looking up the fridge doors, I was actually looking down from above and seeing the top of the fridge, and it wasn't the stainless steel type, it was a white one. But the odd thing was that just as in this photo, there were flames leaping out from the top of the fridge, and that was the first vision. Straight after that, I saw some headlines. It was 2 lines of writing, and the first line, I could see all the different individual words, but I wasn't able to read them. I wasn't allowed to read those words. And then in the second line, also I saw the shape of the words, but I wasn't able to read any of the words except the last one. And the last one was in large, bold font and very plain and clear to read, and that word was Israel. And just so that you can see what I saw in the vision, this is how I saw it. I saw the 2 definite lines. I knew it was a headline, and the last word was Israel. Now then straight after that, I found myself thinking the acronym EMP. But as I thought that, I then heard EMF. Now many of you will know that there have been quite a number of prophecies about EMPs, electromagnetic pulses, hitting the earth at some point in the near future. And I myself have also had a vision about an EMP. But it was interesting that I thought EMP while I was still in my half sleep, but then I heard the Lord say EMF, which means electromagnetic field. Now, brothers and sisters, I had to do a bit of research about this to understand what an EMF was, because I didn't really know. I had to look it up and find out what it meant. So it's electromagnetic fields. And I'll just read you the notes in my diary of what I found out when I looked it up online. So you can see there I've put EMF stands for electromagnetic fields. They are invisible forces around electrical devices. They can or may be harmful. Scientists are still debating this fact. And EMF waves come off cell phones, Wi-Fi, house wiring, power lines, TVs, any sort of electrical device. So everyone, of course I woke up and I sat up in bed this morning and I thought about what could this mean. And I thought about what a refrigerator represented. And a refrigerator is used to preserve food, to keep it in good condition, to keep it healthy, and preserve. I guess that's what I was thinking. And then with the flames coming out of the top of the refrigerator, that is actually the opposite of what a refrigerator should do. A refrigerator should preserve and keep things cool, whereas the fire is the exact opposite. A fire is destructive, and it means malfunction. So I began to wonder if, because the Lord gave me the word Israel directly after this, whether he was saying that he had been preserving Israel for quite some time, trying to keep Israel safe as a nation, and now fire was going to break out, destruction was going to happen. We all know that there are prophecies in the Bible that speak of the final days when Israel will suffer terrible destruction and will go through a time of suffering. So that was one thought. But brothers and sisters, I also had to think about the fact that the Lord also mentioned these electromagnetic fields, and whether this vision of the fridge malfunctioning could mean that our electrical devices are going to become dangerous. They're going to malfunction and not work as they should. They could become hazardous and used for incorrect purposes. We already have been warned about our devices and all the different scanning modes they have, and whether we have any privacy anymore with televisions, refrigerators, all speaking to one another and to different servers. I have already spoken to you about the warnings the Lord gave me about Internet 4, with all the sensors in the devices and how they speak and pass on information. So, brothers and sisters, I'm not sure what the Lord's saying here, but I wanted to share this because it may all become clear in the future. Brothers and sisters, I thought I'd just finish with a scripture. There are quite a number of prophecies in the Bible about Israel in the last days, but this is just one from Zechariah 14, and I'll read just a few verses. Behold, a day is coming for the Lord when the spoil taken from you will be divided in your midst. For I will gather all the nations against Jerusalem to battle, and the city shall be taken, and the houses plundered, and the woman raped. Half of the city shall go out into exile, but the rest of the people shall not be cut off from the city. Then the Lord will go out and fight against those nations, as when he fights on the day of battle. On that day his feet shall stand on the Mount of Olives that lies before Jerusalem on the east, and the Mount of Olives shall be split in two from east to west. So everyone, I just hope this is interesting to you, and just as always, I just ask you to pray about interpretation. I don't understand yet, and sometimes I think the Lord gives us things. He doesn't want us to have full understanding straight away. We see some things dimly, as if through a murky mirror or a dirty glass, and it's not until a later date when the Lord makes things clear to us. But he does want to give us pre-warning, and we will think back on these things when the time is right and understand. So everyone, interesting visions and words from the Lord this morning. Pray for Israel. I try and do that myself as much as possible. Blessings to you all. Bye for now.